Well, Bangladesh's interim chief, Mohammad Yunus, will be on a 4-day China visit. He's going to embark on his first state visit. Do remember, Bangladesh's Mr. Yunus is expected to meet China Xi Jinping amid strained India ties, and Dhaka and Beijing are expected to sign pacts in trade and economy. In fact, the Foreign Secretary in Bangladesh has said China is Bangladesh's closest ally. For further clarity, we have with us strategic affairs expert Brahma Chellaney on the broadcast. As always, sir, thank you so much for making time for us and joining us on NDTV. Bangladesh, it seems, is keen to position itself as a business hub for Chinese investments, especially in the manufacturing sector, as we're given to understand. Do you think it'll be tricky for Bangladesh to manage to attract Chinese investment without alienating its regional partners, particularly India?
Mohammad Yunus is in a difficult situation. He has been close to the Democratic Party elites in the US. The Biden administration blessed his coming to power. In fact, the Biden administration had been targeting the Sheikh Hasina regime, and they enthusiastically welcomed the regime change in Dhaka. But since the coming to power of Trump, Yunus finds himself in a predicament because Trump had, just before the presidential election in November, issued a strong statement about the persecution of minorities in Bangladesh. Also, Yunus himself has a record of making anti-Trump statements. When Trump won the presidency for the first time in 2016, Yunus publicly bemoaned Trump's victory as a black day. So Trump's return to the White House has created disquiet in Dhaka. They believe that the US administration under Trump might squeeze Bangladesh, and Yunus therefore has embarked on his first bilateral trip by going to China yesterday. Ironically, yesterday was Bangladesh's Independence Day, and he left for China at 1 p.m. On a very important day for Bangladesh.
So, also regarding Mr. Yunus's request for a meeting with Prime Minister Modi ahead of his visit to China, it raised questions about India-Bangladesh relations. But what does the delayed Indian response indicate about the current state of diplomatic ties between our two countries?
It's difficult for India to host Yunus at this stage, given the fact that the human rights situation under Yunus in Bangladesh has become quite dire. Yunus regime has released violent Islamists and terrorists from jail. The persecution and killings of minorities continue. Yunus's terrorism-tolerating regime has released 174 major militants, major terrorists, many of them convicted terrorists or terrorists who were under trial, terrorists who were linked with the ISIS-linked JMB, for example. In addition, hundreds of death row convicts and militants remain at large after escaping from prison. Look at the situation in Bangladesh. Even the army chief who played a key role in the regime change last August, he publicly admitted last month to quote unquote, we are going through a chaotic situation. This is the army chief talking about chaos in Bangladesh. Given those realities, how could India be inviting Yunus to pay an official visit to India? In fact, the dilemma for India today is whether Modi should meet with Yunus on the sidelines of the upcoming summit in Bangkok. This is the BIMSTEC summit, which is going to take place in a few days from now. And New Delhi will have to carefully weigh all the different factors to decide whether there should be even a meeting on the sidelines between Modi and Yunus.
As always, sir, thank you so much for joining us on NDTV. We'll be keeping a close eye on Mr. Yunus's touchdown in China and also on how New Delhi reacts to a meeting with him.